Good morning. Let's learn some Torah. I am aware I look so tired, but I put on lip gloss, so all is well. Okay, I just had to do it because I just read this beautiful Torah, and hold on, I get my book, and it's blowing my mind. It's from Reb Levi Yitzhak of Berdichev, the Kedushat Levi. It's talking about this week's Parsha. So just so you know, the backdrop for this week's Parsha, this beautiful teaching is going to come out of this, and it's so saving my day. So the backdrop is that Jacob's sitting there. He just sent all of his sons down to Egypt to get food, to save them from starvation. And the whole thing has finally been revealed that Joseph, their long lost brother, is the viceroy of Egypt, and he's saving everybody. And Jacob, of course, thinks that Joseph has been killed, and it's so dramatic. And this is the moment, this week's Parsha, where Joseph sends his brothers back up to tell Jacob the good news that Joseph is still alive. And not only that, but he's in charge of everything, and he's going to save us all and allow us to get through the starvation. And so it's this really redemptive, beautiful moment. And so here it is, where they're sending up wagons. So it says that Joseph sent up as a sign, Rashi says, as a sign to his father and a message to his father, Joseph sent up wagons. So the backdrop also is that what's about to happen for Jacob's family is that they're about to leave the land of Israel and go into exile down in Egypt because there's a famine going on. Joseph's going to save them. This is sort of this archetypal movement of moving into a place of exile, which is painful but necessary. And this is Joseph's message to his father, Jacob, who of course is also named Israel, is sort of, again, the archetypal Jewish consciousness. Joseph sending a message to Jacob with these wagons saying, okay, you're coming into exile, but here's the deal. It's going to be okay. And this is how to deal with it. It's the wagons. So how so? What is up with the wagons? So one of the things I love as like a writer is that so much meaning is teased out from words and letters. That's where like the most fascinating layers of meaning and commentary so often come from our tradition is by looking at the words. So the word for wagon is Agalah. It's so funny when my kids, we speak English and Hebrew in our homes, mostly English. There's always like a few Hebrew words that always make it into our very English vocabulary lifestyle. And one of those words is always Agalah, which is the word for the stroller for our kids. That's one of the few Hebrew words that like everybody uses. All the Americans you see around Israel, everybody, when they see a stroller, they're going to call it an Agalah. It's just a great word. And I love the word because Agalah, it's connected to this eagle, this idea of eagle, which means circle, or gal, which means wave. It's this thing that cycles. Okay, so you kind of miss out on that by just calling it a wagon. But in Hebrew, Agalah connotes this very powerful symbol of circular movement and of process and of change, and like that speeds. That's what allows you to carry heavy things and go faster are these wheels. Okay, so this becomes a real symbol for how to change and how to process and how to move and how to grow is when we have these wonderful wheels that keep us moving forward. So this is the symbol that Joseph is sending to his father Jacob. So the Kedushat Levi has this beautiful teaching on that. And he says that it's referring to the igul is referring to the turning of events, the changing of tides. Here comes the turning of events into a place of exile. And he has this deep message in there that says that exile is the necessary step and the necessary turn of events that's going to lead to a greater redemption. And I love this so much because that's our lives. Every day we are faced with challenges and pains in our own personal exiles. And so often we get stuck on looking at the descent and the challenge that comes with the descent, as opposed to seeing like the larger vision of the entire wheel, of the entire wagon that's moving forward here. And that entire wagon is the bad brings the good. It's part of the cycle that's going to turn around into a deeper, greater, brighter, better reality. And I think that that's the ultimate promise of a life connected to God and godliness, is that there's a larger wheel turning here, and it's turning for a good reason. And do not despair and do not be afraid, because there's a wheel happening here. It's beautiful. It's understood that what was Jacob doing at that moment as he's sitting there? He's learning Torah, and he's reading about the Egla Arufa. He's learning this Torah about the heifer. And it's again the same wonderful word that this cow is also connected to, this idea of a igul, of a circle. And so Jacob's sitting there, he's learning this Torah about this same concept, and he's seeing it represented now in the wagon that's pulling up in front of his house. And it gives him comfort and calm when we're able to connect the dots. And yes, our text often does this. That's what the Jewish way is to work with text, is to work with words. And there can come a great comforting and illuminating power when we learn, when we access the words of our tradition and we deepen into those words and we find meaning in those words, then there comes a comfort and there comes a message. And here in this Torah reading, the message is one of, yes, you're going into exile, but see the larger wheel here. Know that it's turning, and it's turning for a good reason and a good purpose. And so I just want to bless us that whatever the turn of events that you're seeing, obviously the newsreel is turning daily of the intensities of our global reality. And it can be disconcerting. It can be scary. It can be painful. But I bless us that as we're watching that reel turn, to know that there's the real wheel of a larger purpose to the challenges, and the challenges will bring about the turn towards a greater redemption. We should be comforted and deepen into the really, really wonders of our beautiful tradition. Good Shabbos, you guys.